What's up, everyone? I'm here today to tell my story about how I've become a victim of online domestic terrorism. A lot of people think that online terrorism isn't the thing, but I'm here to tell you guys, as somebody that has lived through it and is still living through it, it is a very real thing. You see, my story starts 7 years ago, when Music Biz Marty first came across me in a live stream that I was doing. He pretended to be a fake person to try to get my attention. He had two separate accounts. He had his real account that he uses, and then he made a fake one. And he had one of those little trolls say, "Hey, dude, like, this guy's not the real Marty. I know the real Marty." And so that whole thing went on. I bought into it, not knowing. At the time, I was just being a genuinely good person, I went looking for the real Music Biz Marty to let him know, hey, this dude's pretending to be you. Just being nice. And at the time, he's like, "Oh, thanks, whatever." Well, those interactions with him became more and more frequent. Little did I know that he was slowly luring me in to a trap. He was luring me into a trap to trust him. He tried befriending me, and I started to kind of see through it. I could tell something was up, so I kind of brushed him off. Like, I wasn't an asshole about it. I was kind about it. I was very kind about it. I turned him away gently. I kind of told him, "Look, dude, like, I'm not interested, whatever." Well, he didn't like that very much. So what he did was he stepped back for a few years and devised a scheme that would change my entire life. This man decided to pull a very highly illegal move. And I know people will say, like, "Oh, what he did is not illegal." That is a fucking lie. Fuck what the government said. What he did is illegal. Morally and emotionally and just in general, what he did is illegal in the eyes of the law in a lot of states. A lot of officers will say that what he did is illegal. Because I didn't take his offer, he decided to hire somebody who is very much hated on the internet by the name of Mass Troll Mafia, whose real name is Kate Peters, who has a very fucked up history of drug abuse, in and out of court for many years, lost her kids several times over to the state, and did a lot of unbecoming things to garner attention. In essence, you could say she was an attention whore. She was an attention seeker. And she would do anything she could to get attention. She didn't care whether it was good or bad. She did not care. And so what he did was he devised a plan after I turned him down over the years. And what I mean by turning him down, there was a point in time where after he tried to be nice to me, he tried to make a pass at me in that way, as in a romantic pass at me, and I turned him down. Because I'm not gay, I'm not bisexual, I'm straight, you know. And at the time, I had a girlfriend who everybody knows was Heather. The same Heather that nobody liked. The same one that quote-unquote died, who personally I think is fucking alive. But that's for another video. But after I turned him down, after he made a pass at me, he got angry because I turned him away. So he hired Mass Troll Mafia to do something very illegal and very... He hired Mass Troll Mafia to do an illegal pedophile sting on me. Now, in the eyes of the law, you are a pedophile if you approach that person first. Like, say that you're doing a sting on somebody, like, prime example. Take one of the most famous pedophiles on YouTube, EDP. EDP approached his victims first. Mass Troll Mafia didn't do that. She approached me first. Tricked me into thinking that she was of age. Tricked me into sending certain photos. And then sent a photo of, at the time, who I believed to be an of-age female. Little did I know that later on down the line, that photo she sent, I would soon find out, was her 15-year-old fucking daughter, who was 15 at the time, and pretend to be underage right after. Right after she sent that photo, she went in and changed her fucking age. And sadly enough, she got away with it before I could screenshot anything. And as a result, I got labeled as a pedophile. Cops came out, talked to me. I showed them the screenshots and they said that I'm not a pedophile. Well, because of that, I ended up getting harassed a lot. And it started out with little things. You know, it started out with stupid, snarky comments. You know, people just talking shit. You know, just stupid shit. But then Tibbs TV came along after several years and decided to befriend me. Little did I know that that was a setup. He tried to set up a sting on me, and I caught the guy that was trying to do it. And I told the guy, like, dude, I know you're of age. I know you're not a fucking kid. What the fuck do you want? Needless to say, Tibbs TV didn't give a fuck about the details, about what I had done, about how I was catching somebody trying to do an illegal sting operation. He didn't care. So what did he do? He let me be for a while, for about 3 or 4 days, and then came back and decided to blackmail me after my own dad had sat there and in front of over 1,000 people disowned me on a live stream. Tibbs TV sat right there and blackmailed me and said, either I hand over all my info that I had at the time to him and I admit to being a pedophile, or he was going to take everything that he had, give it to my dad and his wife, and use it against me to help them sue me for defamation of character and slander when I did nothing wrong. And me being scared, not knowing what to do, I gave him what he wanted out of pure fear, because I didn't know what he was capable of. And I figured that maybe if I gave him what he wanted, he would go away. Well, I was wrong. He didn't go away. He made his own little channel and he kept on doing shit. And I eventually began to ignore it. And so the harassment and the bullying continued, with people sending people to my house, sending stuff to my house, up until last year, when Music Biz Marty had passed away from a fentanyl overdose. And then William Glory Hole took over as the head of the trolling community, like of that branch. And needless to say, William's been ruthless. He's been doing nothing but fear-mongering. He has openly told me to my face that I am not allowed to make money, nor am I allowed to earn a living, and that he will do whatever it takes to keep me from making a living. He's openly admitted to stealing my music and my content on several occasions. And has been getting away with it. Every time I try to make money, they falsely report whatever I'm on to get me shut down. These people have even gone as far as shooting at me to try to kill me on multiple occasions, which police did absolutely nothing about. The police here have labeled me and my family as 43s, which means mentally disturbed, and we're not. There is a very fucking real situation going on. William has also coordinated attacks against my home by having jars of paint dropped on our house, and even going as far as having an IED, or more commonly known as an improvised explosive device, sent to my house in the form of an Xbox One. They've even sent a dead baby pig still in the mother's fetal sac, beheaded animals to my house. And as of recently, they have, as of last year, like late last year, they pretended to have a court case against them. And William showed up to my house, tricked me into signing something that I thought was for the lawyer, which it turned out it wasn't. He pretended to be a government official or somebody that like deals with, picking up and collecting evidence. And so once he collected everything and I signed my name on that slip, not knowing what was going on, the very next day during the Zoom call, halfway through the proceedings, they showed a video of him burning over $4,000 in electronics of my personal belonging. And those items were a Nintendo Wii, an Xbox One S, an Xbox 360, a 2 terabyte hard drive that a personal friend sent to me to use for my music and whatever I was doing. They also burned a computer that was worth $150 that I had bought myself when I first got paid out by Twitch. And they also burned a computer that was gifted to me by a very close friend of mine that was worth over $1,000. And I watched that stuff be torched. And let me tell you, it killed me. It fucking killed me. And as of recently, their worst one yet hit hard like a truck. They had this girl named Cassandra pretend to be my girlfriend. Pretend she wanted to be with me. And for a while, we weren't. Little did I know that was all a stage setup to destroy my property. You see, it was around Christmas time this year. Well, last year now. It was around Christmas time, and she had sent me a gift that I had gotten here about a week and a half from what she originally planned. So I opened it up, and it was a brand new wheel rig. And me being excited, and me not thinking anything of it, I went and I plugged it in. Because I was going to give Cassandra my old wheel rig so she can use it. Until we can get both me and her a proper setup, because she wanted to get into racing. Which I was, honestly, as a guy, I was ecstatic. I'm like, yo, like, she actually wants to get into this. This is cool. So, I explained to her, like, hey, I'll package everything up. Whenever, you get down here for New Year's, I can hand you everything. And that's fine. And then I can use my new one. Well, when I plugged it in, after I got done unplugging my old rig, I went to plug it into the back of my Xbox, like you normally would do. And what happened next would make my stomach sink. Because I had just bought that Xbox Series X that I have. I just bought that a few weeks ago for $700 because my ex Jackie sent me $700 to buy a new Xbox. And when I plugged it in, I figured maybe that it was overpowered, that she had gotten the wrong model, or whatever, because that can happen. If you have a device that's too powerful for the Xbox, it won't work. Like, prime example, I go to plug in my old school arcade controller-based wheel, and I go to plug the mic and headset in, it's all good. But the minute that I go to plug the camera in to live stream on Twitch, the console shuts off until I unplug the camera from the back. And at first I thought that's what was going on. I figured maybe it was just a little too powerful, whatever. Well, little did I know that it was bricked. And when that happened, I broke down into tears. Because I had just bought this thing. And it was destroyed. And this right here, is all that's left of it. This is all that's left of my Xbox. Just an empty shell. Bricked. Not able to be used anymore, nor able to be repaired. And more recently, before that, about a week and a half prior to that, another troll by the name of CVG decided to climb up on top of our neighbor's roof and shine a green laser through my window. And at first I thought I was staring at the game thinking like, oh, maybe it's just whatever, but no. It was him, so I went downstairs to let Mom and Ed know. Nobody was there. So me and Ed come back inside after we go to look. And me and Ed Ed was sitting down. I went towards the kitchen. And then my mom was shutting not the iron rod bar door, but the main door. Because she knows how to get it shut, because our door has a hard time shutting sometimes. And she knows how to get it better than me or Ed does. Well, the minute that she shuts it and she steps back away, she's staying there for about, I'd say, like 5 seconds. We hear something hit the porch like a bunch of rocks. Like how gravel sounds when it hits the porch. And we're thinking, okay, that's weird. Maybe somebody threw rocks at our house or something, whatever, okay? Well, Mom opens up the door and finds that they had shattered out the top window or the top pane of glass to our front door. Completely shattered. A couple days later, they broke out the back glass to my mom and stepdad Ed's van. And this isn't the first time they had done this neither. A couple years prior to that, they had thrown a brick through the windshield of my mom's Kia to where we had to replace the windshield, to where we barely had a Christmas that year. And all that went down. And then New Year's rolled around. And me and Cassandra were talking about, her going down here for New Year's, because she was going to meet me at the mall and we were going to come back here to my place, so I can introduce her to Mom and Ed, and, me and her could get a place of our own for, New Year's and spend New Year's together. We were going to get a motel or something, which I was all for. I was ecstatic. I was excited. Well, little did I know that was all a lie. They tricked me into going out to the mall. I got to the mall. A couple of my friends FaceTimed me on my phone, said she was kidnapped, showed me the video and everything, and at the time I thought it was real. So I went looking for help. I went looking for her. I did everything I could. And I never found her. They stranded up there at the mall for over 4.5 hours. Left me to die. To where I had to go find a officer that was sitting across the street to help me get back home. 4.5 hours of being stuck up at the mall, both inside and out, looking for help. At the time, thinking that my fiance at the time, my now ex, had been kidnapped. And so I made a report to the police. And in the back of my mind, I did keep in mind that it could be a troll, but I wasn't. In my mind, I overrode that. I was thinking, like, why would somebody joke about that? Why would somebody pretend to be kidnapped? That didn't make sense to me. Well, thankfully, the officer helped me to get to a bus. And that bus got me back home. Little did I know that the next day would roll around, I would find out that it was all a setup. And that they tricked me into going up there so that I could be followed and killed. And when I found that out, my stomach sank. These people have not only done all of this shit, they have faked Facebook accounts of me, made a Facebook of over 9,000 people dedicated to harassing me. They've even gone as far as cutting our cable to where we've had to have cable people out here several times to replace the wire, which, by the way, is a federal offense. Because when you cut someone's internet line, you're not only fucking with a government business who is paid through the government to do what they do, but you're also fucking with that person's property. These people have done shit like that. They, at one point, did a DDoS attack on my gaming PC that's worth over $1,000, one of the ones that was destroyed, to where I could not do anything. They were in my computer and I couldn't get them out. To where they bricked it, to where I was getting no signal or power from the motherboard or the graphics card. It was completely shot, bricked, done in. And they unfortunately did the same thing to my PC that I bought. And they've done all kinds of just highly illegal things. Everything from breaking into Microsoft, pretending to be a Microsoft worker to steal my Microsoft account that I've not been able to get back, to committing several hundreds of counts of copyright infringement. They have, like I said, tried to kill me on multiple occasions, had me brutally beaten physically by Music Biz Marty when he was alive. They've tried to have me kidnapped at one point. Thankfully, the people that did try to kidnap me that were in an RV, they ended up getting arrested a couple miles up the road after they left here. Because of these people, I ended up in jail. I've lost my ability to be able to get a regular job, to be able to make money. Because according to William Glory Hole, I'm not allowed to make a living. I'm not allowed to have money. I'm not allowed to earn a living. The only thing he wants for me is to either be in prison or die. That's what he wants. These people have stolen stuff off our porch and sold it for auction to make money. These people have stolen hundreds of dollars worth of music that I've created and resold it. These people, every time I go to make like a brand new shop, a brand new Twitch, or a brand new Kick, they mass report me and get me shut down. Every day and night I have to sleep with one eye open, constantly looking out my window, constantly on the lookout. These people have done so much illegal shit that it's insane. These people have death threatened my family many times. At one point, they swatted me to the point to where police showed up in force with pistols, shotguns, and AR-15s in hand, pointed right at my head, ready to shoot me at a moment's notice if I made one wrong move. These people have spread so many lies and rumors about me that the rumors and the lies are starting to become truth in their eyes, and it's not the truth. These people have made fake Discord accounts of me, making me look like a pedophile when I'm not. These people have made several fake Facebook accounts of me. These people have even made video games with my face and image and voice and likeness along with my family. These people have even gone as far as making merchandise and selling merchandise with my face and image and likeness. All the way down to an animated series on YouTube with me and my family and everything that we've been through, which is what the series is based around. My family can't afford a lawyer. We have no money at all. Police here have labeled my family as 43s, saying that we're mentally disturbed and that there's nothing going on when there is. William Glory Hole is illegally obtaining body cam footage from Akron PD. And then posting it online. I've lost several YouTube channels that have had well over 1,000 subscribers because of him. I've lost everything because of this man and his friends, Southern Harlot, N-Word Boy, and CVG. I've lost everything because of this man. And my family doesn't know what to do. We can't afford a lawyer. We don't have money. I can't get a job because every time I try to get a job, they do a background check and they see what's been going on with me and they don't want to hire me because they see me as a liability. I don't have a phone. I have no bank account, no Cash App, no PayPal, nothing. I literally have nothing because of these people. And all I want is to get my life back so I can make an honest living doing what I love for the real fans, for the people that genuinely enjoy what I do. So I can do my job as a man. And when I say as a man, I mean as a 35-year-old man who should be working and doing content creating and music and doing tours and shows and hanging out with friends and family and meeting some of the most amazing fans around the world. I should be doing that right now, but I'm not. And it's all because of William and his goal to keep me held down, to keep me from making money by fear-mongering friends, family, anybody they can to stay away from me. They'll do whatever it takes to make that happen because they don't care. They don't care about the laws. They only care about a couple things: money, clicks, and views. They don't care if it's legal or illegal. They will do whatever they want. And it makes me sick. But I hope that you guys understand just what I've been through now. All these videos of me raging out and getting angry, those weren't for show. Those were very real fits of rage and anger. Because I wanted everything to stop, and it wasn't stopping. I was being attacked. I was being harassed. I was being bullied. And yes, I'll admit, I have flashed Marty and a whole bunch of people on their own live streams several hundreds of times. But you know what? I didn't have a choice because Akron PD left my family to fend for ourselves by labeling us as 43s when we're not. Essentially leaving my family to fight for our fucking selves with no help at all whatsoever. And it's fucking disgusting at what these people in APD have done. It really is. But I hope that you guys understand now what's really going on. All this shit that's out there about me being a child predator and, oh, Chance has a preteen Discord server. No, I don't. I don't even have a Discord anymore. I deleted my Discord a few weeks ago because I don't use Discord like that. And the email that the trolls were using was one of the emails that was on my phone that had gotten stolen that I don't have access to anymore. I have no access to the email, to the phone number, nothing. But I hope that this explains a lot for you guys that don't know my story, that don't know what I went through. But I hope now that you guys see exactly what I went through. And that online digital terrorism is a very real thing. It's a very real thing that no one deserves to go through. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace.